If you are a good thinker, you will find solution to your problems. So that way, critical thinking, problem solving, communication, collaboration, and Axis branch manager, I think, has he left? He said it is out of syllabus area he is talking. It's very important. The digital literacy as well as financial literacy. 21st century skills. It's very important. If you earn money, how to spend money, how to save money, that is also very important. So in the 21st century, the reading literacy means the ability to read, write, analyze, understand, interpret. All those things comes under reading literacy. Scientific literacy, scientific thinking, problem solving, creativity. Then the mathematical literacy. These three are very, very important from academic point of view and from the point of view of life skills. Communication, collaboration, critical thinking, problem solving, the ability to collaborate, ability to communicate, learning of multiple languages, moving ahead in a pluralistic society, inclusiveness, global outlook, digital literacy, financial literacy, all are very important. So in the new national curriculum framework, we are going to get a curriculum designed to address all these issues. But with the introduction of the new national education policy, CBSE has initiated its journey towards implementing the new policy by slowly and steadily implementing changes to the existing system. You may not be feeling it, however, that is the beauty. It should not give pressure to anyone, because if it gives pressure, it will boomerang. It will not get acceptance in the schooling system as well as with the teachers. So slowly and steadily, we need to move ahead from rote memorization to competency-focused education. That is why CBSE has adopted the competencies developed by the NCERT in the learning outcome document. There is learning outcome document of NCERT from classes 1 to 12. And this learning outcome document gives a clear connect between the concept, the content, and the learning outcome. What the child is able to, expected to perform after learning a concept or a lesson. This connect should be there throughout. And the teacher should be aware of this concept. And teachers should be aware of what they are expected to do in the classroom. So huge capacity building of teachers are required. So CBSE is majorly focusing on 4 major areas. One is teaching learning in the classroom, that is experiential learning, joyful learning, art integrated learning, sports integrated learning. These are all various ways of promoting experiential learning in the classroom as well as to promote joyful learning. Second, assessment reforms, the competency-based assessment. Every year, board is adding 10% more competency-based questions in the board exam paper. There are 6-7 levels of questioning, but we are not able to reach up to that level. Along with our country's progress, economic and social progress, we will be able to reach up to that level. At present, in the board examination as well as the various assessments, except the competitive entrance examinations, the normal test paper comprises of level 1, level 2 and level 3 level questions. Competency-based education, assessment, capacity building of teachers, and the fourth area is systemic reforms. Systemic reforms, have you heard of SAFL? What is SAFL? The Honorable Prime Minister on the first anniversary of NEP has announced the SAFL, Structured Assessment for Analyzing Learning. The new introduction of CBSE to promote competency-based education in the classrooms. Because If the children are forced to answer CBE questions at the board examination in class 10th and 12th level, what will happen? All of a sudden, if you ask such questions, they will be puzzled. Immediately after administering the paper, there will be news on the paper that out of syllabus questions.
Panel discussion people.
There will be huge
chair
hue and cry. There will be social unrest.
How many are coming?
To the education ministry, to the CBSE board officials, there will be huge problem. Why these things are happening? Because we are not training our students to answer these kind of questions. So to address that issue, to catch them in, the competency-based assessment has been initiated at key stage level, that is grade 3, 5 and 8. So the momentum will begin. And this assessment is going to happen on a technological platform. CBSE and the Ministry of Science and Technology, the CDA, we are partnering together, and it has already been created. A platform has already been created wherein the children will appear for this assessment on an online platform. With the limited IT infrastructure, with the limited internet connectivity, a new system has been created and it has been piloted across the country in almost 100 schools. So the last day of piloting was yesterday. So very successfully this piloting has happened, and the next level of piloting, 2,500 schools across the country will be part of this SAFL assessment. So this is an assessment for the purpose of giving feedback to the school system. How the children are performing in various areas. For example, in grade 3, science, mathematics, or science or EVS, mathematics and language, English or Hindi, or regional language it can be. How well the children are learning, and how critically the children are learning, how best they are able to solve problems. And at the next level, adaptive testing will be added into it. You will be able to distinguish the good and the best. And wherever learning gap or learning deficit is there, you will be able to identify those gaps. So this is not to identify individual performance, but to identify the performance of your institutions. If en masse students are poorly performing, or if they are performing well, you can also see that there is a need for capacity building of your teachers. So gradually, 358 is going to be a game changer, and through this change, we are also going to bring changes to the board exam. Initially, this will be an objective like MCQ pattern question, but descriptive questions will be added, and in the years to come, this will be a joyful activity for the children. For example, for the grade 3, this will be a playway-based assessment. Children will be coming and participating in the car race, and by participating in the car race, all the cognitive abilities can be assessed. This kind of revolutionary approach is going to be introduced, and as you know, the whole country has not been equipped with following this test. So in the initial years, blended model will be provided. Wherever internet facility is not there, adequate computer facility is not there, the schools can participate on a physical mode. At the same time, wherever it is possible, and we also promote online testing of students, so that simultaneously digital literacy is also improved across the country. So competency-focused education, SAFL, and school quality assessment and assurance, SQUA. If Father Carvalho can very easily say, all other school leaders can say, if your school is doing well, it is the result of what? Result of what? The whole school approach followed by the institutional leadership. It's the result of a process. It is not individuals' effort. It's a collective effort of the whole system. Alone, the principals cannot achieve massive result. You need minimum infrastructure, you need well qualified and motivated teachers, you need parental support, you need intervention for the students, you need support of the society, and there are several parameters involved in the making of a good institution. So, to invite the attention of the school system in a planned and focused manner, school quality assessment and assurance will be introduced by the board from the next academic session. And this has also been announced by the Honorable Prime Minister at the first anniversary of NEP. And CBSE has also been appointed as the standard setting authority in school education for all the central government institutions. So the Kendriya Vidyalayas, Navodaya Vidyalayas, CBSE affiliated schools, schools run by Army, Navy, Air Force, Sainik schools, all those institutions will be monitored by the CBSE's quality assurance mechanism. So gradually, the quality consciousness should be given to the school system. So we are going to implement it as a voluntary activity for the schools. We will connect it with the extension of affiliation. So when the schools are coming for affiliation, they will be asked to undergo for this process. So that they will go initially for the self-assessment. If you need support, there will be a pool of assessors ready to help them. It will not be a compulsory activity. So that if something is made compulsory, you understand what will happen with the government system. We don't want to continue that, repeat that. It will be a voluntary activity, but every school should compulsorily undergo this process in the online platform made available on the CBSE website. After that, schools will automatically receive the feedback from the system. There are parameters, AI-enabled parameters are linked with the process, and depending upon the data filled by you as well as your performance in the board examination as well as other areas. So, a lot of data you are filling in the CBSE system. From that data, you will get a feedback. Based on the feedback, you can take a remedial action. So, SQUA, Shuffle, Holistic Progress Card, the third initiative. All of us are agreeing to the fact that it's not only the academics, it is the wholesome approach. Well-rounded citizen, development of well-rounded children, that is very important. So, what are the parameters and aspects that essentially needs to be looked into by the teachers, parents, peers, and the system as a whole for the well-rounded development of the child? That will be explained through the holistic progress card approach. Finally, for bringing assessment reforms to the CBSE system, Center for Excellence in Assessment is being set up in CBSE, wherein in the modern times, all the assessments are subject to qualitative analysis, quantitative analysis, psychometric analysis, and all the modern tools and techniques of assessment will be evolved and developed in the CBSE system. While answering a question, you can also, while answering a question in the board examination or the school examination, you can also assess the mental ability of the child if it is connected to psychometric system. So that kind of innovative testing will be implemented in the CBSE system, and be ready to be part of this journey to transform Indian education system to the next level. As a country, all of us need to journey together, travel together, and for this, there are so much resources available. So, this is the result of a national assessment survey. It's a step-by-step process. In 1920, the journey started with adopting NCERT's learning outcome, then strengthening of school-based assessment by making it performance-based, diverse and flexible, and strengthen in 2021, the different ways of testing has been added. 21-22, which was implemented on an experimental basis. Our system is not right to continue the semester and modular examination, so we have rolled it back. Maybe after the coming of the new NCF, we will think about introducing it again. Strengthening of assessment and evaluation practices of the board by adopting learning outcomes and including competency-based questions. So every year board examination question, this component is being added. And as I said, we are at the initial stage, but in the years to come, more and more application-oriented questions, higher-order thinking skill questions will be part of the CBSE's examination. So for this journey, lot of resources have been generated and made available on the CBSE website. Have you seen the CBE portal on CBSE's academic website? So there are documents available, there are resources available to promote competency-based education from grade 1 to 12. There are manuals and handbooks for the teachers and the school leaders. There are question banks available on the website. It's all free resources, and all these resources have been created with the support of international organizations. The Education Testing Service of US, Australian Council of Education and Research, Educational Initiative. So many well-known organizations have collaborated with the CBSE for creating these resources. British Council has brought in so many UK resources like the Cambridge Learning, the UK NARIC, then Alpha Plus. Different organizations collaborated in creating these resources. Learning Standard Framework. This is a framework created with the support of Asim Premji University, Bangalore, wherein the content, the concept, learning outcome, and the assessment tools, everything has been aligned. How to assess a particular learning outcome by framing questions based on the concept taught in the classroom. That is being explained through the Learning Standard Framework. Sample question papers and practice papers are there. Lesson plans. All of you can make use of these exemplar lesson plans. It is a free resource available on your website, on CBSE's website. You can use it. These exemplar lesson plans are really a good beginner for the CBSE system. Essential concept. Very easy tool for the teacher to assess the learning gap in the classroom. After the pandemic, this has been created to assess the learning level or to find out the learning gap of students. It is there. This is available from classes 1 to 12. In this small textbook, basic questions are being framed and incorporated to assess the learning level of every learner. These are all materials created for PISA process, reading literacy, mathematical literacy, scientific literacy. Workbooks are available on the website of CBSE. It was a part of India's preparation for PISA assessment. So these resources are freely available, and this is the way we need to move forward in the journey of teaching, learning and assessment. Handbook of Assessment and Evaluation. This is a resource material for the teachers for framing of good quality questions and how to create good questions for teaching, learning in the classroom, because assessment is not an end process of learning. Assessment should be used for learning and as learning, yes, which is not happening in the classroom very regularly. But wherever assessment is learning and assessment as learning and assessment for learning is happening, there the outcome is much better than the NP use of assessment to measure the learning level of children. So in an everyday process, teachers should frequently use quizzes, role play, whatever tools and techniques they can easily adopt to assess the learning level of children in the classroom. That will make the classrooms more interactive, more lively, and more experiential. So all these resources are available. Assessment objectives. You can go through this document very well. Shortly, I just wanted to familiarize with you the resources available on CBSE's website, academic website, and you know, explain it to your teachers. Do you remember CBSE's one of the 3-4 years back, CBSE has issued a circular to designate all the principals as pedagogical leaders. What was the objective? To bring back the attention of school leaders on the learning aspects. Because you are too much overloaded with all the administrative tasks. Admissions, huge pressure for admissions. There are so many, managerial issues, tackling teachers' problems, so many issues. You are entangled with so many multiple problems. So you are all, in real life scenario, you are all problem solvers, no doubt. And you are leaders also. At the same time, we wanted to invite your attention to the core aspects of schooling. So principals as pedagogical leaders, the objective is to develop a vision for your school. Every institution should have a vision. Every institution, a vision for future, and the short-term and long-term goals. Your yearly plan, annual plan, it's not a lesson plan. The vision document for every institution. If you have that vision document, automatically the whole system will work together to achieve those objectives. That is the idea. So, pedagogical leadership is one of the essential aspects of school leadership. नाराज हो गया क्या? It's not going. Yes. टाइम ओवर हो गया तो भी बता देना, जल्दी बंद करना है. So these sample English lesson plan, these are all lesson plans. These resources are available on the website. In CBE microsite, you can get all sort of resources, and teachers training resources are available. There are many information available on Diksha, but if you go through the CBE microsite, it will take you to the right link in the Diksha platform for the competency-based teachers training. First of all, there should be an awareness among the school leaders, and you should feel the need to equip yourself as well as equip your teachers to embrace this change. If you think that we are doing perfect, nothing will change. That is the biggest stumbling block the system is facing today. You may be best in your locality, you may be best in your district, but we have miles and miles to go. When we compare ourselves with the developed country standards, we are nowhere. If you wanted to see India as a developed country, there is no other way but to invest in quality education. So, IT platform, and it's only moving forward. It's not. So these are all. This is Safal. I have already explained you. And similar exercise is also there for creating awareness, creating quality in the improving the quality of CTET examination, because CTET is the gateway for the teaching profession. And there is already discussions are happening to create a similar test for the high school and higher secondary classes also, but it may come. The NCT is in the process. NCT is developing national professional standards for teachers, and based on that, this kind of an assessment will also happen. But to bring quality to this assessment, we need to do a lot in the areas of assessment so that the best talented teachers will be selected through this kind of a process. So, 4 major areas, you please remember: teaching learning, that is happening in the classroom; the assessment reforms, capacity building of the teachers, and the systemic reforms, and a wholesome approach for the well-rounded development of children. That will lead India to the next level of schooling and will transform the country as a developed nation. The National Education Policy is a broad framework and policy paper to give guidance. All the previous policies were also talked about holistic development and all other aspects. But what happened? From the practitioner's point of view, as school leaders, policy makers, administrators, we could not translate that vision into reality and action. The new policy should not meet that fate. It is the collective responsibility of each one of us to understand the spirit of the policy and realize the vision and ambition of the nation to transform it as a developed nation. In that process, mere learning will not be sufficient. Knowledgeable society packed with values and ethics. If you are a good businessman and honest businessman, what will happen? His journey will be long. If you cheat, what will happen? He may be making quick money, but it will not be long lasting. Same principle applies everywhere. A value-based society with respect for everyone, with lot of inner strength, the ability to spread happiness across the society. That kind of a society we need to develop, and that will happen only with the right education. So early childhood education up to secondary level education is very important. It is the foundation of. So all of us are responsible for this journey, and let us come together and take part in this journey to transform India as a developed nation. Thank you very much.
That was quite an impressive session indeed. I would request Sir to please stay back. Sir, please. After such an impressive presentation, I think many people in the audience might have a few questions. So we'll just take 5 minutes. Quick Q&A session. Yes, sir. Can we have one mic given to Sir here? Yeah, so we are on that.
Standard answer. Good morning, sir. I'm Dr. Kanan Diresh, psychiatrist, and I run a company with education. We go to school. 2 questions only, sir. One, you again do so much competency-based assessment and all that. What about teacher burnout, sir? And that's a very severe issue because when I talk to, I think all of you will agree with that. Teacher burnout is a real issue. Second, I see, sir, as a psychiatrist because I work with 100 schools personally, and I find there's a very severe issue with teacher attrition also. You build the competency of the teacher, the next person does, the teacher leaves halfway through, and there's a severe background, and then that one is a second thing. Is there something CBSE can do in that area of teacher burnout, teacher attrition, and how to compensate the teacher because they're giving their life for this particular thing? I'm sure all of you agree with me on that. The second thing, sir, the second point that I have is another point. 9th to 12th, 9th standard to 12th standard, there is a huge pressure now for JEE, CTE, now with Byju's coming in. It's literally as though you buy the Akash tab, you will enter into JEE, the kind of advertisement that comes. This is putting tremendous pressure on the children. Why is it that CBSE is allowing this type of coaching centers to mushroom? Is the CBSE curriculum not optimized? I'm not saying that. Is it not up to the way for to get into IIT JEE, or does these IIT JEE companies have some secret sauce that they just put and immediately they get into IIT? I hope all of you agree with me on that.
Dr. Kannan, you are an MBBS doctor or MD doctor. You are a psychiatrist.
MBBS, MD.
How did you get into the medical college?
How
did you get into the medical college?
For us, we didn't have rental get 12th mark. I am from Tamil Nadu. We didn't get rental system.
But 12th mark was matter at that
Yes,
time.
yes.
Was there any guarantee that 12th mark is enough to select a child for the MBBS course?
That's a big question, ma'am, sir. That's a
There
very big question.
there are multiple components. Let us realize that our country is a country of
Competition.
diversity,
Competition.
huge population. We have a huge population, and why entrance examination is required?
Competition.
Opportunities are less,
Competition is
aspirants are
more.
more. How to address this gap? I myself designed the NEET. I was a special officer for NEET. It was a challenging question. It was a lot of deliberations happened. Assessment of your knowledge and ability and aptitude, that will not be sufficient enough to eliminate those who are applying for those limited seats. As long as this gap exists, in one form or the other, this pressure will persist. There is no answer. Let us ready to face this pressure and minimize this pressure of students by counseling them. This is not the end of life. This is not the end of life. It's only beginning of journey. Now what is happening? In class 11th and 12th, our educators, the whole system is responsible for that. We will make getting into an engineering college or medical college or IIT as a lifetime goal for the child. That is the target set before a child. So once he cleared that entrance examination, his life goal is achieved. After that, the child becomes different. He's not contributing anything. He's not enjoying his life. Why it is so? We are not allowing our child to choose the course as per his aptitude and ability. It's very important. An elephant cannot climb a tree. Let's realize that. It's not CBSE or the government. The whole society is responsible for that. And there is no easy answer. Everybody should realize it. Why, let us also understand why medical and engineering is getting huge popularity. It is because of the great Indian middle class mindset. Because engineering and medical can guarantee you a job, a fixed income, and a respect in the society. You don't know anything else. You are only confining yourself to this limited potential. The world is very wide. So, as a society, let us think differently, and it will not happen all of a sudden. It's very easy to say, but difficult to practice. As long as this divide exists in the society, one form or the other, this will continue. Let us also realize CUET has come. What will happen 2 years down the line? So I will not say because it can create controversy. So you realize it.
Now people are saying, has been given to people are saying to be monitored by CBSE.
Yeah, standard setting authority for the central government run institutions.
So my intention is the NAP said there will be independent body which will be said who will master the thing. Once this practice happens, then once CBSE is selected for the government school, all other states will take the same. No. So we want
not here. There are two distinction of this responsibilities. At the state level, there is a state standard setting authority that will be formed by the state governments.
Correct.
At the central level, we are setting standards for the central government run institutions.
correct.
Okay. You are coming under CBSE standard setting norms because you are an affiliated school of CBSE and you have to fulfill the affiliation conditions.
Correct.
And we are aligning the affiliation condition as well as the state national level standards together. So that is why this will be covering you.
Sir, my question is, NAP says Prime Minister's vision was there should be a third agency which should monitor. There's no third.
That is different. That is different. In the days to come, when they need to implement, third agency may also come. We don't know. Parak will be coming. Parak will be coming for setting standards for all the school boards across the country. In the days to come, it may come. But CBSE has been given the responsibility for the central government institutions. For Kendriya Vidyalaya, we are a third party. Navodaya Vidyalaya, we are a third party. For Army, Navy, Air Force School, we are a third party. Similarly, for easy implementation, the responsibility has been given to us. Okay.
But the purpose will be lost because any regulation.
That you can't say, Mr. Malik. Purpose, how can the purpose be lost? You know, that is your personal perception, personal view.
No, sir. No,
Anyway,
no Babu would like to give his power to the third party, and that leads to corruption.
No, I think that you know, this is not the forum to discuss that aspect. You will have hundreds of opinion about that. You know, this is each one's opinion. I cannot address. So I can only say general perspective to that. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Dr. from Gargi School, Meerut. It was indeed a pleasure to hear from you. My question to you is, sir, when you're talking about NEP implementation, there's a huge hue and cry about the multilingualism that we're talking about. The textbooks, the NCP, NCL that will be framing the textbooks, when do we expect it to be implemented? Is it going to actually hinder the textbooks that we are presently using? Because as far as we are concerned, in case if we talk about Uttar Pradesh, Hindi is mostly spoken, and the way the teachers are taking up, it is in Hindi as well. So is it definitely going to be affecting, and in case it's implemented, how long we have to take a wait for it?
So let us first wait for the national curriculum framework, which will happen at the end of this year. After framing of the national curriculum framework, then the textbook will be written by the NCR. But in the textbook writing process, there will be a lot of scope for promoting regional languages also. Because being a multilingual society, there will be ample scope for learning in regional languages too. Particularly, there is always there is a policy that as far as practicable and possible, children should be allowed to learn in mother tongue at the early years. Gradually, they can be shifted to other languages, but the early years, preferably and practicably. Here, there also, a lot of liberty is there. For example, if children from Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, West Bengal, and Gujarat, all multilingual places, if they come to a school in Delhi, you know, which language you will teach? There are practical problems too. So there, the preference of the parents matters, the choice of parents matters. So, you know, as far as possible, give opportunity to the child. Suppose if the maximum number of students are from the local community, then promoting mother tongue education is possible in that school. So similar policies can be adopted by the institutions at local level.
Right, sir. And just one more thing, I would request, because this is a big platform, I request CBSE to please take up teachers training when we are talking about NEP implementation, because many of the teachers and stakeholders aren't aware about the actual implementation of NEP when it comes to implementation. Because as you said, NEP should not meet the same fate as other education policies met. And this will only be possible in case if the actual warriors are made ready. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's a very good point. That is why these kind of sessions are being organized. We will again, you know, from the CBSE Center of Excellence is also massive level awareness program for the school leaders and teachers. And for the last 2 years, let me tell you, almost 10 lakh teachers were trained through the digital platform. So it's a mass movement. Gradually,
Good afternoon, sir.
gradually all of us will be part of this journey. And you will definitely get enough opportunity to understand about NEP and its implementation strategy in the coming training sessions.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, I'm Dr. Sharmini Banerjee from Principal Astor Public School, Noida Extension. I have a question for you, sir. It is pretty similar to what Dr. Kannan had asked. Why is CBSE allowing these different coaching centers to have integrated classes with the schools, number one? Number two is, what about the dummy schools which are coming over everywhere now, with these coaching institutions approaching the students to attend dummy schools, which is a very serious concern for us, because how important is the class 12 exam
can you say CBSE and was coaching?
No, but, CBSE must be aware of it somewhere. Somewhere down the line.
See, first answer I have already answered to Dr. Kannan. Why coaching students are happening?
Yes, sir.
From your school also, a lot of children might be going to coaching centers. Why
Yes, they are.
Why they are going?
No, that is.
Are you coaching them?
No, we are not forcing them, sir. But the point is that when the dummy schools are coming up, and how are these children attending?
Dummy is different. That is other teaching.
Yes, sir.
Dummy is different.
Yes, sir.
Coaching students. This is not about the coaching.
So why?
He said, we do not want any coaching institutes at school.
Yes, sir.
We are
We are not. We are not. No.
But there is a practical issue. With less number of seats, applications are more.
Yes.
For 50,000 medical seats,
Definitely.
1 lakh medical seats,
Yes, sir.
20 lakh students are appearing.
Yes.
So from 20 lakh, how many select?
Sir,
1 lakh,
2 मिनट रुक शादी का साथ
understand that, no? Instead of you ask questions good, what do you think about?
I do understand, sir.
And how to find solution? You can share some solution to
Sir,
be.
why the CBSE level?
It is going endless and
Just 1 minute, sir.
Sir, very good. Sir, this is Aparna Gautam Panda from Salem School, Faridabad. Sir, a very big issue which I want to share with you, and I think other schools also must be facing, is that though we all understand that aptitude and attitude matter for some stream, but whenever the 10th results are declared, even before that, parents and children make up their mind despite not having caliber to perform well in mathematics and science. They try to take medical and non-medical, not only try, they are adamant about it. We cannot refuse because the parents say their child is in depression, or बच्चा भी how much ever you counsel the child sticks to it कि मुझे साइंस ही पढ़ना है, तो even if hardly they have secured 1 or 2 or 3 marks, still medical and non-medical. So how we principals can save such children from destroying themselves? And let me Jesus, thank you, sir. Sir, just one more thing, just one more thing. Sir, along with other question papers, just a small thing that in 10th exam, if there could be a paper for testing the aptitude and attitude there itself, aptitude test, which helps principals to tell them, see, CBSE also says that you are good for science and or you are not good. Thank you, sir.
you cannot pass on that responsibility to CBSE. Mentoring is your responsibility. Without the counsel, you will absolutely right. And you will follow guidance. So from every way that process should happen. So these are all social aspects. If they realize that if they choose a different stream, they have better prospects, then they will not insist for that. Otherwise, these kind of things keep on occurring, and you have to tackle it at local level. So there is no one answer for all these problems.
Yes, sir.
That is why you are all leaders. You
Sir.
leaders are here. And dummy school also, who is giving admission to dummy school? There is also some principals, there are also managers.
Sir, I have one question, sir.
So this is the last question.
Yeah, yes, sir.
That you can.
Okay. Sir, I am Ranjana Verma.
No question. So after that you can share questions with the audience.
I am Ranjana Verma
They will
from
complain and give you
MS
single answer. Okay.
Meerut. Sir, I have been in the field of teaching for the last 28 years. Though I am a principal, yet I love to teach chemistry, and I have been teaching for all those years chemistry in class 12. And when I was in Delhi Public School, Bokaro City, HOD of Chemistry Department, that time I saw my students, they were clearing IIT and they were getting even top positions in like all India level. And the students used to say that if you go through NCERT, you don't need to go to any coaching institute. That time they were saying to their juniors, but I have been seeing in these 28 years that CBSE is shortening the syllabus, gradually reducing the syllabus and reducing class 12. The students know nothing about SPD, SP, and block elements. They don't know nothing about the physical states of matter. 5 chapters have been reduced.
I got the point.
5 chapters are reduced, sir. How can you stop the student from going to coaching institute? How can you say that you go through the NCERT book and you will get through? You cannot get through unless you take the help of these coaching institutes which are spreading over every place in India. They are just hunting over the
I got
student.
the point. Listen, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Everybody, this will be the last question. We are running short on time. We can have a networking team session right after this, after our next session. So please, चाहे पे चर्चा जरूर करेगा, but this is going to be the last question. So please answer this one, and we will move forward then. Thank you.
So let me answer you. This year's syllabus reduction has happened based on the reduction done by NCERT. The next year's NCERT textbook will not have the deletion portion. The new books published by NCERT for the academic session 23-24 onwards will not have the deleted portion in them. Point number 1. Second, there is so much research happened in the content load for even to our children. Because of the content load, they are not able to do beyond. Huge resource. You are only talking about cracking of entrance examination, but there are other aspects, social aspects. How much knowledge which you have gained in the school is simply using? How much talent you have created while schooling was happened? All those important aspects are there. So for the holistic development of the child, there is a unanimous understanding among the policy makers and the researchers that there is a need to reduce the content load so that children can engage into multiple activities, diverse activities for developing their all-round personality. So this is going to happen. And our entrance examinations in the years to come, because we also need, the system also needs to build capacity. That will be in the form of an aptitude test. The entrance examinations will transform at a later stage as testing of scholastic aptitudes for a particular course. So when that happens, let us see the present pressure may reduce and we will get more holistic environment in the schools. So practical problems are there. From your answer, I can make out that you are all facing a lot of challenges. And my friend Malik, we always have dialogues because practically we meet on different occasions and we discuss. But I may not agree with him in all his points. But the point is that in such a large country, there are 55 school boards are there, and CBSE is also one of the schools. And from 29 schools in 1929, now we have close to 28,000, and we will be touching 29,000 schools. And with 29,000 schools, CBSE is catering to the 10% of the school going children in the country. So that is, you understand the importance of CBSE. And we feel happy and proud to be part of this national board. And we need to maintain the quality of education and the quality of assessment. Then only we will to maintain this leadership position in the schooling. If you wanted to progress and move forward, you have to take very strong actions. And one of the strongest actions is to bring examination reforms as well as quality aspects in the school. Who will do, what will do, all those things can be corrected. But the important aspect is to take the initiative. If you do not begin to make mistake and learn, to error is human, forgive is divine. But we have to initiate this journey. So the journey has begun. Now all of you will be part of this journey, and let us collectively work and bring progress to our nation. Thank you so much.
That was really quite impressive indeed, and I would now request Mr. Shah Rajiv Thomas, sir, and Mr. Lawrence to please come forward on the stage and present the token of appreciation and momentum for our chief guest here today. Can we have a huge round of applause for Sir here for successfully taking forward the session in such a diligent manner? And I can see the Q&A round was quite interesting as well. You know, the amount of engagement level went up 100 notches, you know. So please, a huge round of applause for you as well for being such a wonderful audience here indeed. And so please accept this token of appreciation, this token of love from our end. Thank you for gracing us with your humble presence here today. Thank you so much. Moving forward for our next session, which is with our technology partner Amazon, I would request the humble presence of Mr. D.P. Singh, Strategic Advisor Employability with Amazon Internet Service Private Limited. AWS began offering IT infrastructure services to businesses in form of web services, now commonly known as cloud computing. Today, Amazon Web Services provides a highly reliable, scalable, low-cost infrastructure platform in the cloud that powers hundreds, thousands of businesses in 190 countries all across the globe. The AWS Global Cloud Infrastructure is the most accurate, extensive, reliable cloud platform offering over 200 fully featured services from data centers globally with millions of active customers and tens and thousands of partners globally. And our speaker here today is a business professional with 40 plus years of experience in the corporate world. He has successfully led and worked with cross-cultural teams spread across many countries, knitting them together to deliver business results. He has had a long stint at IBM and his last assignment was Vice President HR Head IBM India South Asia, where he was also member of Board of Directors for IBM India Private Limited. He has also been on HR Advisory Board of Markets on flagship competitive intelligence market research platform organization, worked with Chandigarh University as senior executive vice president before taking on the role as the chief advisor. He is also an independent director on the board of Ethos India Limited. So can we welcome sir with a huge round of applause, please. Everybody, please put your hands up in the air to welcome Mr. D.P. Singh. Thank you so much, sir. I would also request our, heads here. I would request Mr. Thomas and Mr. Lawrence one more time to please join us here on the dais to welcome our guests here today with a bouquet of appreciation, please. Thank you so much, sir. Please come forward. And Mr. Singh, thank you so much for coming in here today. It is our thorough delight to welcome you here as our eminent guest and as having Amazon as a technology partner. Thank you so much. Please take a lead, sir.
What an amazing discussion since morning, and how engaging was the question and answer session. Before I really start what I need to talk about, I am sort of prompted to just share one thought of mine here before that. And that is, and I've been talking about it for 2 years, even when I was with IBM and now with AWS Amazon Web Services, that skills is going to be the new currency. Skills is going to challenge the degrees. So it's going to be a question of time when students and the young digital natives who are coming up, the alpha generation, when they start talking about these things, and some of these questions will go away on itself. Okay, so good afternoon to all of you. Thank you. I think a very great event when there is a question answer, there is engagement. I think we had a great speakers in the morning, so that's just beautiful. So dear audience, the world has been changing ever since. There's nothing new, and the world has been changing because the human beings have been wanting to make this as a better place. They've done this through inventions, they've done this through discovery, they've done this through innovations, and that's the way they have been driving it. But something else has changed in the last few years, and that something else which has changed is the velocity of change. The velocity of change has really gathered momentum. The pandemic has disrupted businesses, has disrupted life, and one of the things that really it has brought forward with it is the speed and agility with which you have to respond to survive this world. Nations, governments across the world are transforming. And the government of India, as we have seen today, through the new education policy 2020 and its digital mission, is really a front runner in the transformation of nations of the country that is taking place. Our challenges are huge, and if anything can be actually executed in spirit and in letter, I think this nation will gallop towards being a developed country. But these challenges can, to a great extent, be mitigated. Many of them can be mitigated by adopting technology. At AWS, we have been supporting our clients, be it in private sector or be it in the government or the government agencies in their transformation missions. Now let me talk about one of the biggest emerging changes that is happening because of technology, and that is on account of cloud adoption. Cloud is the ultimate enabler, opening new opportunities by leveraging technologies like artificial intelligence. It is talking about cybersecurity, data analytics, IoT, networking, project management, etc. So cloud is something which I'm going to talk about through my presentation. We've already heard that Amazon Web Services, of course, is the most comprehensive, most broadly adopted cloud platform, which has over 200 featured services being delivered out of data centers across the globe. And it serves millions of customers, and we have tens and thousands of our partners who are working across various industries, various sectors, from startups to large enterprise to governments. And one of the sector and one of the areas, one of the industry in which AWS is enabling the transformation is the education sector. In India, the higher education sector is taken big leaps, big steps towards transforming, and I think you may have recently heard that in the press it was there that Delhi University is also using AWS to enable the adoption of the smart e-governance, open source technology platform to help the transformation of their universities in e-governance. 200 colleges and universities have already taken on this, and the Delhi University has taken a target of reaching this 500 next year, that is 2023. So let me now start with my presentation. I will take another 3-4 minutes, not more than that, because I think we are talking about cloud, we are talking about emerging technology. Let me just quickly tell you why this is important for a principal or an educator at a school level to understand this and what AWS can possibly support them. So if you look at it, that cloud computing is an on-demand delivery IT resources over the internet on pay-as-you-use piece. When I say pay-as-a-use or pay-as-you-go pricing, it's something like the way you use electricity or the way you use your mobile phone or the way you use your water bill, the amount you use, the amount you pay. So this is something which is really being leveraged by organizations across for various purposes. So this is what cloud is all about, right? So and therefore it is
a cloud computing which is really in demand, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. And why are organizations moving to cloud? You can see the growth that is taking place. It's because of it is because it provides you with the hold on. It provides you with all the agility that is required. It's the robustness which is needed. That is why people are moving into it. It is the innovation that they can do on the cloud. That is what is getting supported by them. And what AWS is doing is, it is bringing the skill forward. Even at the school level through our programs, I think it's something wrong, it's not coming here, called AWS Educate, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit. It's a program which is, you can get yourself registered on it. The students can get onto it. It's a non-paid program. And it's running on its own. So, okay, we were on this slide. So we're talking about why people are moving onto the cloud platform and why they're adopting Amazon. It's because the robust functionality, more flexible, faster pace of innovation, and of course there is expertise to it. But why education sector needs to understand, moving quickly, because cloud migration has accelerated and companies around the world are investing in it. Today, all the reports that are getting published are saying that the biggest inhibitor to the growth of businesses is the lack of cloud skills which are there. Study after study indicates this. And if I was to show you something, in India, you know, we have about 150 million people working in the digital sector. Out of those 150 million in the 6 APAC region, out of this 58 million are working in the digital sector, you know, in India, and only 12% of them are really, you know, I would say, engaged deep into it. And of that number, which is 58 million, 76% say that we need to learn cloud. That is the kind of demand that is happening as far as this skill is concerned. And this is going to continue to grow. So if you actually look at it, there are reports which says that 90% of the organizations are reporting shortage of these skills. 80% of the IT decision makers are talking that cloud computing skills is needed. And by the way, you can start learning these skills from school level, right? And that, I think, is the most important thing that we need to understand. And this is where we step in to help, you know, sort of bridge the gap. AWS Educate is a very simple piece. It's, you know, barrier-free access. You can get into it, you know, and you can sort of start learning. And we also sort of support through a lot of campaigns where people get into, if they are skilled, you know, they can take their degrees anytime. They can take their degrees online as going to happen. But they can start what we call is earn and learn, right? And that is a culture which is going to come to this country. Well, people have been doing that at a lower strata of the society, where they also work hard because they have to sort of bridge the gap of living and learning, but it's going to now catch up all across. So I think, and we have many other programs, and this is one of them, which is a skill builder kind of a program. It is done through gaming methodology, and children enjoy it, so there's lots that can happen. So this is the way that we are going to step in with the institutions. A lot is already happening in the higher education. We will also be stepping into the what you call the school education level to support them. So thank you. That's all that I have to share with you. Wishing you all the best. Let me just share that transformation is gathering momentum. Velocity is increasing. We have to change. We cannot become dinosaurs in this world. So now is the time for you to lead it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was really impressive indeed. And have you here with us. Without further ado, I would request the humble presence of Mr. Rajiv Bair and Mr. Matthew from the team of NCAP to please come forward and acknowledge your presence here today through a token of regard here. Please, sir, accept this. Everybody, can we have a huge round of applause, please? Thank you so much. So please accept this token of respect from our end. We are thoroughly delighted to have you here with us. Everybody, can you please have a huge round of applause? Thank you so much. I would like to convey to all of you that we will be taking a small tea break of 15 minutes, and it is my humble request that after having your tea, please join us back for a very, very interesting session next, sharp at 12:40 p.m. We are already running a bit late, so I would want you to be on time so that we can pick up the speed one more time. So this is a networking tea. Do have a wonderful time networking, connecting with people, and we are waiting for you. Thank you so much.